this is what I was doing last stream. We've got a big mega list here of NPC ideas for 5 particular things: beliefs, desires, fears, dissatisfied, reasons they're dissatisfied with their life, and agendas. And I spent all of yesterday evening organising this. It looks a bit different to how it looked last stream. I've got rid of all the numbers now because they were being a pain in the butt. So we got numbers here anyway. So we don't need the extra numbers really, even though it's not exact because there's gaps. But, you know, you can get an idea of how many we've got from that anyway, even if it's not quite exact. But I've also organised them into categories now, so it's not just all random. Because last stream, it was really fun. Chat was helping me out with this. We was all like listing ideas together. And we've got so many, it's crazy, but we're going to get even more. Hi Van, how are you doing? Happy last stream of the year. And so the first section is literally all self-related beliefs. By the way, these beliefs are really, the whole point in these beliefs is that they have to sort of be flawed, like lies, beliefs that aren't actually the truth. Because this is really what drives the story and the character arc. Without this, there's not really... It's kind of a challenge to actually have a character arc for a character if they don't have something they believe in that they're gonna realise over the course of the adventure. I guess like the beliefs are really the message in a way. The message and the theme of the story is the opposite of the beliefs. Or the message of the character's arc, I say. But self-related beliefs are here. I also added the opposite underneath. So, for example, we've got... Shall we zoom in here so you can see it a bit better? The first one was I'm not worthy of anybody's love, and I decided to do the opposite. I am worthy of everybody's love. It's a bit of a narcissist, that one, I have to say, but that's also interesting. We've not assigned any of these to any particular characters, because what we're going to do is just think of anything that comes out of their heads, however random. Just list everything. And then the second job, I've made a document here, is we will be listing the characters so far in the game, and we'll probably go through and decide what's appropriate for each of them out of all of these. We haven't even started the fears and the others yet, but we will today. Feel bad about sending a KO away. And what's a KO? Oh, I've never really played Sonic, so that's probably why. I did play it as a kid though, but I don't remember it. I've got a bad memory, and that I'm throwing them around is pretty sad. I want to Google that now. I assume it's a cute creature. And yeah, I'm glad you're the same as me, Proto. Hi Dark State, how are you doing? At work and giving you that. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love. I hope you folks are okay at work and they're not making you work too hard on such a, you know, well, it's not quite New Year's Eve, but I just care about you. I don't want you to be worked to the bone, chat. And try to put together a monitor mount. Oh, fun times. Hope the monitor goes well. I did make it to 10. Now how far to 9? Oh yeah. Top 10, let's look. There we go, Van. Oh my gosh, there you are in the top 10. One of the OTPs. OTP? I mean MVP. OTP is shipping something to do with that top 10. Oh my goodness. MVP was the word. But yeah, you're not too far. You'll get it. Keep pushing it. It's slow going. LOL. Yeah, I think I've probably need to recover from the Christmas period. It's probably made my brain out a bit. Saying everything wrong. I'm catching up to Chub Cheeks. I believe in you. I think, and all of you here could eventually like really get high up. because like I said, a lot of the folks in the top 10 aren't active in streams anymore because time zones, work, life, all those things does happen. So you never know, you could catch up. Yes, not much longer. Alright folks, so yes, self-related ones. We've also got, we put in brackets the ones that folks link to the characters that are already in the story, so you can do that as well if you want to. If you've got an idea in your head for something that could work with a current character, and I'll just put them in brackets. And then we've got an other section, so any beliefs that are people motivated will go under here. So these are all like self-motivated, anything that starts with I am or I will, etc, etc. So anything that starts with people will go here. So, and then the last category is society and life, so anything that's about anything, like the bigger world, the bigger picture, not just about you or others around you. This is like, it could be the government, rulers, war, conflict, nature, money, the gods, certain areas, parts of the world in general, and life. And also anything that's random and not in a category would probably go here too, like these ones. Flatulence is evil leaving the body. Toes are evil worms, and the opposite is toes are just simply a part of the body. I couldn't think of anything else, but I did want to give an opposite to every single one of these beliefs, because really that's what it is. The whole point of the belief is that it's a false belief, and part of that character journey will make them sort of realise the opposite, or maybe they could even meet characters that are the opposite of their point of view, and it can like challenge them or something as well. It's an interesting thing to explore. But really, we also have the desires here, and the desires are driven by the beliefs. So you can't have a desire without a belief, and you can't really, you know what I mean? They come hand in hand, these two do. Well, all of them do, really. Same with the fears. The fear is like the obstacle in front of the desire that stops the character getting their desire as quickly or as successfully as they want. It's the obstacle. So I have a few more I want to add. I've done the same here. So I've got self-driven desires, where it's all about desires, personal desires there. Other desires, so anything that are related to get people will go here, and anything that's related to the world desires, like people who want to make the world a better place, for example, or you know, anything that's related to society will go there. So, because I feel it, I realised as I was looking through last stream that it was really cool. We had a massive list of loads of cool things, but it was all a mess. It was all random, and I was thinking, oh my god, as we get more of this, how are we going to keep track? So this way we get to keep track a little bit more. And I've put an example. I started one off, an example for each. So for fears, I've got a self-related fear. I will die alone. Others, and people won't accept me for who I am, and citing life of the world will change for the worse. So different characters will have, you know, we'll just look through and decide which ones could be appropriate for each. But before we do that, we've got to fill in these ones because it's empty basically so far. So yes, the fear is really the obstacle to the desire. Really, the desire is why the story exists in the first place, because without a desire there's no story, and the desire is driven by the belief. So for example, someone who has the desire to be loved probably believes they are not worthy of anybody's love, or they'll have a belief that is related to love anyway. And their fear could be that people won't accept me for who I am. You know, it could be, it's very flexible. We'll probably find that many could be a fit. And the dissatisfaction thing, let me look in my notes because I actually did write. Yeah, the dissatisfactions relate to the belief as well, because usually the reason they believe what they do is due to why they're dissatisfied, if that makes sense. And the agenda is really what's going to drive it's going to help drive the story. It's going to help us think of quest ideas, NPC quest ideas. And it's also a solution to their fear as well, because for example, someone who feels like they're too weak to kill their worst enemy could just say, I want you to kill them for me, and that could be a quest, for example. It's all very like, you know, when we form this, it'll all be very generic or universal, but the next job will be like getting specific about it when we sort of write it up in more detail. So it's probably best to be as like general as possible when writing these, and then we can just get into the nitty gritty and more detail once we actually know. And hi, oh my goodness, are you silent and lost defying dreams? How's it going? And oh yeah, the stream avatars has come up even though you've changed your name. I see, that's awesome. Let's catch up with chat, because I've been rambling on and I'm not even caught up with chat. 6 will be harder, lots more points between there. Yeah, there is actually. Azriel managed to get that 6th position, which is pretty cool. And Carol the Barrel is in fact a talking barrel. Imagine a word without spreadsheets. I can't fathom such a hell of disorganisation. It will be terrible. And is Roots and Rumours the name of episode 1? It is indeed. It's going to be weird not calling you Silent anymore, or Sal. So I'll call you Dreams. Is that good? But yes, it is. We decided the name back in... It was probably the very end of October or early November. It was around that time. We had like a massive poll, like sort of period where we were like deciding what should be the name, and Roots and Rumours came out on top. And it's very much related to the themes of episode 1, with Roots being to do with, you know, communities of people being very like only trusting each other and being very wary of other races and other communities. For example, Carol the Barrel, she's very much anti-human. She calls them flesh bags. She only trusts her own kind. Same with the Fruits. They only trust their own kind. The Humans are Lightfall, only trust their own kind, and same with the reptiles. So the Roots is also, you know, it's a double meaning because it's linked to like trees and plants as well, and episode 1 is very like planty and foresty, so we got that double meaning there. And Rumours, because there's a lot of twisted propaganda going on. gotta love Rumours. That's right, it's a good thing the character software is still working. I do want to miss the tricky tricks to Catgirl Lavender. Yeah, she's awesome. We've got a tool now as well, because around the time that we gave episode 1 a title, I decided I wanted to make the small chibi sprites, which are the default RPG Maker sprites, that I wanted to have them, make them look a bit more unique and distinct, so it's not like just every other RPG Maker game out there. So I made them taller, so they're bigger now, they're not kids anymore, they don't look like kids anymore. And I also gave them like eyes that look closer to their avatar as well. And they look more, they've got more personality now, I feel. And also Roots being a pun about the first area being a forest, it's a great title. Yeah, a few people said it sounds like a band name, which is good, because we had loads of different title ideas, and they were all very different as well. We had some poetic sounding ones, and we had some very simple ones, and Roots and Rumours was definitely one that people were drawn to, and I liked it. I was happy with it, so it's exciting. And I'd say that the future episodes are all going to follow that same theme, that it'll be a thing and thing title, where it's a blank and blank, if that makes sense, where it's 2 words with and in the middle. It'll probably follow that same theme. It'll be linked to, you know, the episode, what it's about, themes in that episode, and the setting of the episode. And I think we've really hit it with episode 1, because you can't get more foresty than that, can you? But yes, everybody, so we are working on making a big mega list. This is something that's gonna be a sort of assistance to us forever when it comes to making NPCs. So it's going to be a massive list, and it'll help us like get sort of an idea for each character, so that they're not just a cardboard cutout that's just standing there with no desires or fears or beliefs of their own. And these are the 5 major things to me. I'd say, in my opinion, they are, but I think it's kind of a sort of thing that they are. If you Google about character beliefs, misbeliefs, for example, it's a very, very tried and tested method that people swear by when it comes to creating good characters, and we're giving it a go. And we'll carry on making this list today. So if anyone wants to make suggestions as we do them, feel free to throw some in chat. We've got, how many have we got? Whoa, okay, we've got over 200, and that's not the exact number because obviously we've got some gaps here like that. But yeah, around 200 beliefs. I kind of want to put in brackets flawed world outlook in brackets, so people know that the belief has to be a sort of flawed belief, but it don't matter. I kind of like keeping the heading simple so there's not too much to read as well. And yeah, we've got almost 200 of this as well. So we can move on to fears as soon as possible, but I think there's a few beliefs and desires I still want to add that I thought of that I haven't got around to adding yet. So lurk, enjoy the lurk, Alice. The big mega list, that just sounds awesome. It does, doesn't it? Mega list. But yes, we're gonna use, it's gonna be something that's commonly used that we're gonna use to make NPCs. And I am thinking, because I know on our website we've got the character submission form and we already have a goal section on there. I'm thinking of adding more, because we only have like a few dozen goals on the website, and we've got way more here. Because I like you guys that do create a character that reach 1,000 raindrops to have something to start off with your character, because we'll like sort of you decide and we sort of expand on them and mold them and develop them. So I'd like to give at least the choice of all the desires for people. But as for the beliefs and all these sort of things, these are what we'll decide to make the character really, really cool and awesome as possible. Because they have to be connected at the end of the day. Whatever fears and beliefs that we assigned for the character has to connect to the desire to give us that great character arc. If there's no link, if they're random, like if it's oh, I want to survive, but the fear is scared of like, just I can't think now, but you know what I mean, if it's something totally unrelated, it's not gonna make much sense. So got a few I am ones here. And some of them might be similar, but Okay, so I am a screw up. Everything I do goes wrong. So say someone who believes that, their character arc would be realising that they're not a screw up and they can do things right. So really the character arc is going to be the opposite of their belief. It's going to be that journey of how they're going to grow. So I am what's the opposite of a screw up? Capable's the first thing that okay, so that's one I thought of, and then there was a few others that were to do with the world. So we'll put those there. I only think of an opposite for the belief just because it's kind of helps like realise what the opposite is. But for desires, that's not necessary. So the world. Sometimes it's nice to think of that contrast, the opposite, not only because that could be the character's journey to realise the truth and that the opposite, but it could also in another way be interesting if they meet a person, a character that thinks the opposite of them, to see that how that their dynamic would be when they're challenged with different beliefs. That could be another reason why it could be cool too. Can't even think of an opposite for this one, but I do like the idea of someone who does believe the world is conspiring against them. I'm a god amongst mortals. Everyone should worship the ground I walk on. I'm extremely modest and humble, and I don't know what either means. There's two really good ones, Silent. We'll get those ones in for sure. The world. God, why is my brain dead? The world is not conspiring against me. That's a bit of a boring one, but the world is. I've got the perfect thing in my head, but I can't put it into words. The world is just total random chaos. Nothing we do will make a difference. That's perfect, Silent. Thank goodness you're here. Okay. I know some people like that in real life, LOL, yeah. Well, that's exactly good, because that what we want, like one thing I think is super important, even though this is a fantasy story and we are going to have fantastical elements and things, the characters should still be real and relatable. I think one really cool thing about things like this is that you can see yourself in characters and think, yeah, that's like me, I think like that, and it can kind of be a lesson to yourself as well with your own beliefs. We all love relatability and something to relate to. So we'll get silence in. So that one, it's kind of similar to this one, but different and way more detailed, so I like it. So someone who thought I am worthy of everybody's love. We could even go one step more with the I am a god amongst mortals, and everyone should worship the ground I walk on. So that's quite similar. Those two, someone like that is clearly very arrogant and narcissistic, but this person here is literally beyond narcissist, I'd say. But that's an interesting belief for a character, because they'd have some might have some realizations along the way. They could become more humbled if that happens. Not necessarily, because some characters they will never realise, and not every character's going to go on a journey where they realise that their belief is wrong. They might be faced with another character that challenges that belief, but they might necessarily be a lost cause, and they might be too arrogant to even realise. So, but it's always quite powerful if a character does make a change, though. But it can take a long time. That's why this is a series as well, because it might not necessarily happen straight away with some characters. I am extremely modest and humble. I do not know what Ivan means. Shall I add that bit as well? Okay, so there was another one that's kind of similar to that. Still quite villain, narcissistic sort of belief. The world revolves around me. Oops, typos. I've missed the important word out. So someone who believes that the world revolves around them. The opposite viewpoint would be something like the world owes me nothing. Would that work? Someone who just literally, yeah, I'd say they could totally be opposing. The world is what we make it. We are its guardians and children. That's a cool one too. And to be honest, actually, that one fits the opposite of that one even better. That's if we could think of it a better one, we can. I just now Silence said that they fit as perfect opposites even more, don't they? I'm still searching for the meaning of my life. I am lost and don't know which path I should embark upon. Awesome. Why have we got this extra one? Delete that one. Now, actually, I like that one, Silent, but it could even fit better as a desire rather than a belief. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put it in a notepad file under desires. But you know, thing with desires and beliefs, they're both very closely connected, and the desire really can be the same as the belief with a slight rewording sometimes. And I am one that knows my place in the world since as long as I can remember. I have been working solely towards this goal, disregarding everything and anyone that goes against this. Awesome. You guys are coming up with all the good things. Hopefully I can keep up today. It was a struggle last stream to keep up, but I managed in the end. But let's get them in. And that might be a goal as well. So we'll get, a goal is a desire. Goals, desires they're basically the same thing. Desire is just really a reword of goal. I have never made any mistakes. I blame everyone else for my shortcomings. That's a good one, Proto. And that definitely does fall under beliefs, really. Beliefs are really a good wording, another wording of it, which I kind of do want to put in brackets now. Flawed. Usually a flawed outlook. So we'll make that a bit smaller just so it's not as massive. Just so okay. Because all of these can and could be flawed. Even the opposite could be flawed, because they're both they're both extremes, and there's not necessarily one a right answer with beliefs. Okay, so let's get that in. Now that would go in the self section, so we'll stick it here. Actually, no, we'll stick it here. I have never made any mistakes. I blame everyone else for my shortcomings. Or we could even say everyone else is at fault or is to blame for my shortcomings. And then the opposite outlook of that would be I always make mistakes. I am to blame for my shortcomings. Alright, I believe that joy is something we create, and if my suffering brings joy to others, it's a worthy cause. Ooh, okay. And I like that one, Protoman. It makes fun characters, it does. I feel like this is so fun to do because we all, like me and chat, all putting thoughts together. We could end up with some very potentially awesome character types, and it's always fun to have a world that feels full of different people with different beliefs, it feels like it's a living and breathing world. Then I always try to aim to not have cardboard cutout characters that are just standing there. I like it to feel real and like they've got lives of their own, not lives that are just all about the hero of the story, because they've got thoughts of their own too. Okay, so let's get the joy one in. I think that could fit in the society and life section for sure. So joy is something we create, because we got a conflict section here, so I can see it, like anything related to emotions could go here. We'll stick it here. So joy is something we create. If my suffering brings joy to others, it's a worthy cause. Thanks for chipping in, folks. So some of these are really cool. And it's always good to expand, even though like we had like 200 plus last stream. I don't want to ever stop adding to this list, you know. I kind of want to keep always expanding on it whenever there's an opportunity, and whenever something springs to mind. So joy, what could be the opposite of that though? Some of these can be a challenge to think of the opposite first glance, but it can be really cool to actually look at what the opposite one is as well, because I'd love two NPCs to meet eventually or be challenged by each other with those differing viewpoints. This is fun. I miss this sort of dartboarding, and I am free. My wanderlust has only rewarded me. Nothing can change me down. Awesome. So if we can't think of an opposite just yet for one, all I'll do is leave a gap, and then we'll come back to it, just so we know that the opposite needs filling in. And we don't have to have an opposite for everyone, but I know I kind of like doing it now. I've managed to think of an opposite for every single one. So now let's get that one in. I am free. My wanderlust has only rewarded me. Nothing can chain me down. Okay, so now that would probably go under self. So anything that begins with I. After I believe, so if it's I believe that, and then it's I, it'll always go in self. If it's with people, it'll go here, and if it's anything else or anything that's bigger, then it'll go here. So I am free. My wanderlust has only warded me. Nothing can chain me down. Okay, and the opposite of that could probably be I am trapped. Everything is keeping me here. Something like that. Maybe this one, I think I'm a good person, but I overlook the horrible things I do. So it'd be I believe I'm a good person, but I overlook the horrible things I do. So mate, do you mean basically I believe I'm a good person, but despite the horrible things I do? Is that what we're getting at here? If so, that's an interesting one. And the opposite, I am a bad person despite the good things I do. that definitely is opposites. Yeah, it does work great. Really cool, guys. Really awesome. I'm excited. I'm super excited. This is a really good last stream of the year thing to do because it's fun. Well, every stream's always fun here, isn't it? Always is. I can't even think of one that hasn't been fun. And I believe that everyone else is better than me. I try my hardest to help others because they deserve it, and I do not. That's good too. And as I said, like last stream, we might find some that are very similar here and think, oh, that's actually the same as that one up above. But I don't mind adding it again with a slight reword, because sometimes, you know, some characters could have the same belief, but it be reworded a bit differently because everybody's got their own unique voice, and so sometimes it doesn't hurt to add it again. That's just a slight rewording of something that's already there, because at the end of the day we don't have time to look through all of them and check if it's already there. We'll waste a lot of time. So I believe this one actually, what am I doing? So that would go under the people section. So I believe people are better than me. So I know it's a slight difference. People is different to saying everyone, but you know what I mean? It's kind of the same. I think anything that's reworded that's related to other people, I try to just change the sentence structure so it begins with people, just for consistency, and so that it's better organised. So people are better than me. I try my hardest to help others because they deserve it and I do not. So the opposite without a people are worse than me. Is worse the right word though? I never help others because they don't deserve it and I do. It's fun to think of the opposite. Hi Rex, by the way, how you doing? We are throwing hang on, let me make sure I've not missed anything up a bit above. We're throwing down all sorts of things and Rose has to sort them out into sections. Yeah, this is ultimately why I because last stream silent, if you look at the VOD you'll see what it was like. It was just one random thing after another. There was no structure. It was, and I looked at it all after stream and I was like, this needs organising, because it was all one random thing after another. So although it can be time consuming to put them into the right slots position on the spreadsheet, it's going to pay off in the long run to have everything in its right place. And then we've got all the people motivated beliefs here, all the self-motivated beliefs here, and all the world ones down here. I believe the world is black and white and nothing will ever change us. You cannot take back your actions so easily. Awesome. I also think it's it helps as well, doesn't it, knowing that what the next word is, it has to start with either an I, people, or the world, or, not necessarily, because all the ones under society and life can be anything, but usually it's something related to the bigger picture, this was the one that Rex came up with, those two. I can imagine like a character that believes these things now, and then there's another NPC that's like, no, like they think they're stupid, but they just think that toes are just simply a part of the body, or that pooters pooters is my word for flatulence, that pooters are just pooters. It's simply something a person needs to do, and then someone else literally thinks it's an evil spirit or something inside the body. I can imagine an argument between two NPCs that think the opposite. It would be quite amusing. So, this is why this is cool. And let's get that one in then. I believe the world is black and white. So we've got a few world-related ones now, which is great. I like the society ones. The world is black and white. Nothing will ever change this. You cannot take back your actions so easily. And the opposite of that will be the world is many shades of grey. Grey should be an E, shouldn't it? People, you can how would we sum that up? If we don't know how to fill something in, I'll just put blank. Because sometimes I have brain melt on stream and I can't think of the right wording, but then I can always go back when I've got a fresh mind. Oh, we got loads here. You guys are amazing. It's like last stream. There was loads of really cool ones then as well. I think that we all have a lot of fun doing this, don't we? I'm glad I decided to do this, because I've kind of been thinking about doing something like this for a while, but I was like, oh, but we're gonna need a very big list to make this work. And I thought, yeah, we do it. We'll do it. Why not? Okay, so I believe I can get unnoticed by the world, the less people know about me, the better. I believe the world should know of my legacy. I won't rest until I've been immortalised one way or another. I believe Rose is the most beautiful pastor in the US. Careless wretch, you sweet talker. I believe in the simple. I go about my days and you about yours. Relax and take it easy. I believe that I can help guide our youth to greatness. Without our help, we lead the next generations in shambles. All really good ones. We'll work on getting those in next. Nanny, I believe that someone is watching me and I'm going to figure out who they are. Awesome. Really like the concept of metaphor wall breaking, even if it is only hinted at. Yeah, throw them in, guys, if there's any themes like you really like, and as long as you don't mind me having them and potentially making a story from them, of course, then feel free to just say it in chat, like, so it'll fit in our list, of course, the structure, because you never know, like, we could be creating NPCs and are like, this is the perfect one for them, and it could create an amazing story, you know. And like we say, episode 1 will have certain themes, so we're more likely to pick particular themes and have particular themes in mind for Roots and Rumours. But episode 2 onwards, the other episodes will have totally different themes to episode 1 and explore different things. So there'll be an opportunity potentially to eventually use many of these on the list for characters. I believe that with great flour comes fresh, yummy cookies. I believe that cookies taste better, friends. Yeah, those are really good because we've got Oliver who's got cookies inside him. Wherever was the Oliver? Well, I've still got to add silence. I mean, dreams keep going in silence. So don't worry, I will do. I'm just trying to remember where I put Oliver's now. Here he is. So, oh no, there was another one. Oh, it's probably under the desires, isn't it, that one? Why am I blind and why can't I see Oliver's name? Because I remember adding that cookie one. It might be in the belief section then if it's not here. There's so much on the list now that I can't find any of it. But I generally keep the character ones we've assigned at the bottom, so they're easier to scour out. Here we go. Oh no, that's not the one, because there was 2 Oliver ones. There. Life is better with cookies. It solves any problem. That was how I put it, but it could be reworded, of course, so it's more in Oliver's tone of voice. But I wanted to think of the opposite belief, which someone said life is better without cookies because there is too much sugar in them. So there could be an NPC that's like that, but then realises that no, life is better with cookies. And Oliver's the one to give it. And this is it was an interesting one because Rex had suggested that life is better with food. It solves any problem. That was one that was given as well. And the opposite is life is better without food because I'm a sentient object without a digestive system. I randomly just thought of that one because, wow, Carol the Barrel can't eat because she doesn't have any... well, none of the sentient objects are able to eat. They don't need to. They don't have to. So that can actually be nice for them, that they don't have to think about food or risk dying of starvation. But it could also be very horrible because food is amazing. Right, imagine a life without food. Carol's missing out. Maybe she'd try food and cookies and to just like enjoy the taste. What would happen if a barrel or a container or an object ate food or a cookie? Where would it go? Would it be inside them all chomped up and loose? That's probably what would happen, right? It would just be in the barrel all crummy. That's what I kind of imagine anyway. Okay, folks, I see that you're all, as I'm rambling on, I see that you're suggesting lots of awesome ideas, chat. So we're going to get through them. It might take a bit of time to get them all in, but it's going to be worth it, because just expanding on this list is really, really cool. And we're going to have so much potential for interesting NPCs and PCs. It also includes the playable characters as well, this does. So it's going to be worth it, and we'll move once we've dried up a bit on the beliefs. We'll move on to the desires and get them in, but we do need to look at the fears and the agendas, and I'm honestly convinced that we'll still be doing this next stream as well on the 1st of Jan, because it's surprisingly taking quite a bit of time. Well, it's not that it's taking time, it's just that we're getting so many ideas, so it's not ending, which, like I say, is perfect, because we want to have plenty of choice and direction of where we can take different characters here. So I'm going to actually shut up rambling now and finally get these ideas in that you're all saying, folks. So let's get them in. And yeah, if you read through any of these, in fact, I actually might want to share the link with you all, because then you can all look through, right? And it could trigger some more ideas from what you've read. So who thinks I should share? Say so if anyone's interested. But first, I'll get these in. So we got up to define dreams. I believe that I can get unnoticed by the world. In fact, I'm actually going to just copy and paste them from chat. It'd probably be easier. Oh no, it doesn't work like that, because then it goes all messed up. You see what I mean? You don't want it like that, so I have to type it out manually. Unless if I paste special, it might work. Oh yeah, that's how we do. We just paste values only, and then it doesn't mess up the format, which is great. So I can get unnoticed by the world. The less people that know about me, the better. Awesome. And I always put an opposite with every single one, so okay, cool. Next one. I believe the world should know my legacy. Right, let's get that one. That's under the world section. It's going to take a bit of time for me to catch up, because I've had to scroll a bit higher up in chat, so just bear with me, folks. But we'll get there and I'll eventually catch up. Just don't hold back. Don't feel you don't have to suggest anything, because there's already so many in chat I've got to catch up with. If you think of a good one, just say it, because we don't want to potentially miss out on an amazing character. The world should know of my legacy. I won't rest until I've been immortalised one way or another. It's going to be a bit quicker if I copy and paste like this, at least. So the world shouldn't know of my legacy. I'm ashamed. No, that's a bit subtle as a brick. We got to kind of keep it open for why the world shouldn't know of their legacy, and have something vague there for that one. There are demons in my past. There are too many demons in my past. Is that makes sense as the opposite? That's someone who'd want people knowing of it. Cause I don't know. It's the first thing I could think of. If anyone thinks of a better opposite, feel free to say, because I'm just thinking 5 seconds of what the opposite would be. Might not necessarily be the best of the best. I believe in the simple. Go about my days and you go about yours. Relax and take it easy. Okay, so that could fit in the world section too. So I feel like it could go here actually, for life. So something like, let's I believe life is simple, or should be simple. Should be complex. There are so many we don't have to necessarily fill it in, but we'll leave it like that for now because I can't think. Try holding shift while pacing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now, Dreams. I've figured out the trick. Usage share, make sure it's read only. Awesome. Yeah, what I'm going to do once I've caught up then, I will get that link and share, because then everybody here can look through, and it's fun. It's fun to look through. I'm not scared of anybody stealing them for their own stories, because at the end of the day these are just very base level beliefs. The whole complexity of the character arc is going to be much more in depth once we've decided upon these. These are just the foundation starting point. Okay, so let's go up. I believe that I can help guide our youth to greatness. Without our help, we lead the next generation in shambles. Awesome. I guess with that one, a question would be, how would greatness be defined? Youth being strong, like military, or youth being educated and intelligent and wise and compassionate and caring? I suppose there's a different perspective on how that could be. So trying to think of a way to word that potentially. So two different points of views guide our youth to become more strong and guide them to become more compassionate. There could even be more, you know, intelligent could be another actually as well. So I might even add a third for that one. It doesn't necessarily have to be opposites that we think of, it could just be different. Say wise. Funnily enough, those are like our moral triads that we already have in the game. We have a compassionate scale, we have a wisdom scale, and we have a bravery scale. So yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so where are we? I believe that someone is watching me and I am going to figure out who they are. Okay, so trying to think where that would fall. Actually, I've got a good way to word this now. We're getting there. We're slowly catching up, but it's totally worth it. I'd much rather have loads that you folks suggest than have nothing at all and have a complete blank document. That would be the worst. So you know, it's awesome. So I believe that I am being watched. That could be the way to word that, because I was thinking and I'm going to figure out who they are. And the opposite. I'm being ignored and I'm going to figure out why. It just fun is, you know, to think of the opposite, because you never know what you can end up with as well. You can also end up with an interesting character potentially from the opposite. Okay, so and that was a fourth wall breaking one, that idea. I'm actually gonna put that in here silent. Just because I want to like remember that. Otherwise, I might not click the fourth wall thing. It might slip my mind. So. Okay, so now we've caught up with those ones, and we're on to Van and Kung as well joining in now. So I'm going to get those in now as well, folks. Yeah, feel free to still throw them in chat, folks, as I'm catching up. Because all that'll happen is if it turns out the stream's ended and I haven't got it all in, I'll just look through the VOD and make sure I've not missed any. So there's no rush here. I'm kind of happy to have a few of these streams if it means we'll end up with a super mega list. Okay. I believe that with great flour comes fresh, yummy cookies. Awesome. That'd be interesting. It's cool to make connections, especially because we've already started with the cookies thing. So if we have any other cookie themed ones, feel free to throw them in. But yeah, there's such a variety here. We've got some. So I think I'm putting the food theme ones here. So So anything that's like very, very specific that doesn't relate to self, other people, or society, or the world, or anything within the world, or emotions, I'm kind of putting here. So maybe we'll stick it there. Now, what would be the opposite of that? Well, with no, let's try to think of the perfect word. Produce, maybe. Would produce be the right word for this? Comes no cookies. Sad face. Sometimes if we do an opposite, it ends up really silly. But it's funny anyway, because it's just interesting to see what we end up with. Okay, so I believe that cookies taste better with friends. Okay, so that will go here too. Cookies taste better alone. I believe that everyone from England lives in London, Kappa. Yeah, I had some people have thought I'm from London before. I've had people come in. I had someone come and stream just the other day saying it's good to see a Scottish streamer on Twitch, and I'm like, I'm not Scottish. Bless them. But a lot of our accents kind of can sound similar, I suppose. I believe that you should once in your life try to dunk cookies in milk before eating them also. So I like that you guys are giving fun ones as well. Because sometimes those fun ones can bring the wholesome into the stories. Okay, so cookies should be dunked in milk. Cookies I don't mind if you call me Sal or Silent. I think Divine Dream's more like a band name anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Sometimes I'm going to just call you that out of habit anyway. So I believe that gods have failed us. Awesome. Also, I'm going to be a neat freak and keep the cookie ones together. So we'll move those ones down. Oops, there we go. I kind of like to start the list row with the major word of what's being talked about, because then it's easier to go through it and read. Then if it's just with and loads of other random words starting it off. So I was thinking of giving that one a reword so it starts with cookies, but we'll leave that for now. Okay, so where's the God section? We've got a whole section dedicated to gods here, so we'll put that one there. The gods have failed us. So if anyone thinks of any god-related ones, religion-related ones, we do have a whole section here that definitely could be expanded on. The gods have made us proud. What's the opposite? Because the gods have won us. The opposite doesn't make sense, so I can't think of any of the opposite for that right now. Suffering from a bit of brain melt. Just don't call me double D, lol. I didn't catch on to that. That's the point. People could call you that. I believe that the people who believe life is better without cookies is wrong. LOL. Yeah, whoever believes that, where is it? That cookies, life is better without cookies. Whoever believes that is really anti-yummy foods. Maybe they've got diabetes or something, and they'd love to eat cookies, but they just can't. That would be sad. There could be all sorts of stories that just form from a cookie quest, to be honest, from all the cookie ideas that we've got. I believe you become nice when eating gingerbread cookies. That's what they tell us here in Sweden anyway. Oh yeah, someone could literally have the belief. Let's get that in the people section then. I'm going to just put that there because I couldn't think of the opposite for that, so I'll just put gap for now. So we could have, because funny enough we had similar. We had someone say last stream people become too like turned on when they eat spicy foods, and so we are definitely getting the theme of people become something when they eat certain foods. So we'll stick this one here that Kongs give. So people become too nice when eating. We'll say cookies. We'll keep it general and universal to cookies. But that's pretty cool. We'll take that Swedish belief and put it here. So people become, what would be the opposite of that? I could never say people become evil when eating cookies. That wouldn't be right. That would not be possible. But we could turn it so it's something like people become too nice when eating cookies. So we should keep giving them more. And then the other viewpoint could be people become too nice when eating cookies, so we should stop giving them more. Which I have no idea why anyone would want to do that, or they might have their reasons. Maybe they don't want people to be nice. That's a fun one. The cookies are real, hee hee hee. I believe that cookies are inspired by what the gods are eating. Oh, okay. Cookies are despised by the gods. I don't know about that one, but I'm trying to think the opposite. Imagine if someone thought that. What a sport. They're lying. You should, okay, so now we might share the doc. Let's just catch up because we still got some. I think they say because of the fatty food you eat that makes kids constipated, and the spices in the gingerbread cookies have a laxative effect. Oh, right. Interesting. Okay, so we've got loads, folks, so let's get them all in. Thanks for being awesome. Hi, Met, how are you doing? I've only just finally scrolled through the recent chat, and I've realised I've probably not been saying hi to anyone that's popping in. How's it going? I mean, we're getting lots of funny ones and humorous ones suggested, so feel free to. I encourage wacky and random suggestions here too, because it could create some interesting plot points. So throw them at me. Cookies will be fresh and yummy with great flour. Now I have restructured that sentence, but it's only so I can have cookies as the first word. Cookies won't exist without. Ingredients. So the reason for that is just because when I'm looking through, imagine we've got thousands in here. It's going to be easy to miss the theme, the topic of what's being talked about if we don't have it as our first word. But this way we can scroll through and we see that, oh, these are all the cookie related ones. So it's just easier to keep track then. Like any world related ones start with the world, life ones start with life. Just keeps things organised. We could definitely do with more government and king and queen of war ones as well, potentially, but no pressure if anything comes to mind now. But yeah, there's a few cookie related ones in here as well, but that's because it's to do with others and people, so anything that's generally to do with people I put in this big long one here. But we got a word search anyway, so even if, you know, we can always, if we decide we want to seek out the cookie theme things, we can just do that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna get all these in chat. My challenge for today's stream is to see if I can finally catch up. If I don't share this spreadsheet with you all by the end of stream, then I might make it as my thing to do before we go today, so you folks could potentially look over it off stream if you wish, before we come here on Friday and carry on with this. And I'm just shocked that we're still on beliefs, pardon me, because today I thought we were going to move on to the fears and these ones, but we've just got so into this that we're still on the beliefs category, and we've got how many? Oh wow, we've got 250 now, or approximately. And we might go, once we've dried up on the beliefs, we will move on to the desires, and who knows, maybe we will move on to the fears today as well. But like I said, no pressure. This is fun to do on stream, so gets the community involved, so I'm having fun doing it with you all anyway. Okay, so now, where were we? I believe that my allies give me strength. We are greater than the sum of our parts. Okay, it's an interesting one. Now, I want to put that in the people category, but I'm going to try and make sure allies get mentioned, because I feel like that's definitely key to this one. So we could say something like, people give me strength. Allies, we allies are greater than the sum of our parts. People make me weaker and hold me back. Something like that could be the opposite. So it's kind of similar to what we're going with on the one above. People should count on others when they need to, or people should only look out for themselves. It's just a bit of an expansion on that one. I believe in the arts. We need beauty to give meaning to our lives in this world. Okay, interesting one. So that would definitely be a society one. So the arts and beauty are needed to give meaning to our lives in this world. The arts are a waste of time. Sadly, some people do believe that, and are more like, we need all our children to be human robot calculators. We don't need to teach art at school. That's not what I believe, but some sadly do. Hi Chub Cheeks, how's it going? It's so good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We are continuing with our mega list today on the last stream of the year. I believe in the practical. If something does not provide, it holds no value and it is not worth pursuit. Oh yeah, that is literally what we want then for this bit. Yeah, so I've stuck that at the end there. If something does not provide, it holds no value and is not worth pursuit. Yeah. I like the word practical though, so I still want to stick that in. There we go. I believe the way to... So I did a slight reword of it simply so it starts with the arts. That way we can see that we're on theme. I feel like I should put forest in capital letters though. We've got government, kings and queens. I prefer the ampersand to the word. War, conflict, joy. So we've got some emotion related ones here. Nature, the forest, the arts, and beauty. Money, the gods, flatulence. This is just random. Anything that's a random word like flatulent, toes, cookies. And then the world, and then life is the last one. So, okay, let's catch up. I believe the way to a person's heart is through their stomach. I believe that the world will fail without my help. Awesome. So, we'll get the world one in first, and it's pretty straightforward. It's me, Chubs, it is indeed. Hi Monkey, how you doing? Great work, keep doing it, thank you very much. We're doing ourselves proud, and that chat have to be thanked for this, because I haven't even had a chance to put my own in yet. And chat have been giving me loads. The world will fail without my help. The opposite viewpoint of that could be the world will find a way to sort itself out. Someone that just believes that you don't need to do anything. Okay. So I believe a way to a person's heart is through their stomach. Okay. Let me think. One sec. I suppose we could do this. Because we're on the theme of food here, we could start it with food is everything, and then say the way to a person's heart is through their stomach. Because that's basically the gist of that, isn't it? That, you know, food makes someone happy. Food. What would be the opposite of that one now? Because I'm sure there's a really good opposite for that. But I can't think for now. If anyone thinks, feel free to say. If I can't think, I'm going to just put blank in so I know to fill it in later. So any food themed ones, if they don't fit under self or people, I'll probably just stick it here. If it's to do with the body, I'll put it here. Okay, so I believe that the people are too divided to make any real progress. Okay, so that would definitely go here. People are too divided to make any progress. People can grow to understand each other and respect. Or we could say that, but understand and respect each other. That's two opposing beliefs there. Okay, yeah, so anyone who's just popping in, I'm currently quite high up in chat. I've had to scroll up because there's a bit of catching up to do, but feel free to just throw in any that you think of, and I'll eventually get there and catch up. I believe that trust is impossible between reptiles and men. Okay. Trust is an interesting theme, and I think that could definitely go here. Words like conflict, war, joy, trust, any kind of theme type of words or emotion sort of words I'll put in this category. So trust is impossible between reptiles and men. Trust is possible between reptiles and men. That's a simple one. To think the opposite belief. But it's pretty powerful when you think of it. Like, imagine a character that believes that trust is impossible between reptiles and men. That's a misbelief of theirs, you know. Like, all of these should potentially be a misbelief. Nothing is true or right. So, you know, they could eventually grow to find out that actually it is possible, and that's and believe that within themselves, and that really is a character arc for sure. I believe that the heart of the people is tainted by the lust for raindrops. Oh, that's a good one. So that could go under the people. So people are tainted by the lust or their lust for raindrops. Now, a different perspective to that could be people are I guess it I don't know if benefited is the right word. So that would be two different perspectives. Someone who believes, oh no, it's just a good thing to have that greed for it. And others are like, no, it ruins you. So maybe that could work. And thank you, Ice Princess, for that follow. I super appreciate it. Welcome to stream. And hi, Kay, as well. Welcome. I hope if anyone's popping in and I haven't said hi, it's simply because I'm like all the way back in chat, catching up with some of these that we're adding to our list. How's it going, Kay? I hope you had a lovely Christmas. Okay, so oh wow, I am quite behind. We'll get there though. I'm going to stop being slow. I believe that corruption is rife in the government. Okay, so this is a government theme one. The only reason I'm slow is because I just ramble on. I ramble. So the government has now I'm just trying to think of how to restructure that sentence because I want it to start with the government, so it doesn't sound quite as good as Van's, but has many so much integrity. Imagine if someone believed that integrity, that's how I spelled it wrong. Imagine if there's someone that literally believes that the government has so much integrity. It's just a hilarious sentence because, well, okay, so next one, we're doing it all in order. But thanks for anyone who's still putting them in chat. The more the better. I believe that I should always keep my true intentions under lock and key. I am alone and the only one who knows my secrets. Okay. Now that would be a self one. But just so you know, folks, I will be sharing this on the Discord before the stream ends. I'm going to make this a shareable link and I will pop it in the idea discussion probably. So anyone who is in the Discord can have a little browse through this if they wish. Get inspired. Think of cool things. But for anyone who's just popping in, thank you for all the follows, peeps, those that are following. And Kay asked, how was mine? Yeah, I had a good Christmas. It was very low-key and relaxing. Lots of good food, lots of yummy food. So for anyone who's just popping in case you're curious what is going on here, I'm making a big mega list of NPC character beliefs, desires, fears, reasons they're dissatisfied with their life and agendas, and we've not even got the last 3 here yet. We've only filled in desires and beliefs so far. We have got so much on this list. There's like nearly 300 beliefs, and the beliefs are usually very flawed that these characters have. and they've got a lot of growing to do. So what they believe at the start of their character arc is usually might be a bit different at the end of their character arc. They're probably faced with a lot of hard truths. So that's why I put in brackets that it's usually a flawed outlook. And that's why I'm kind of putting the opposites in as well. So I fill in one, I've got I'm a great accomplished figure and will make a difference. I've also put the opposite in so that we kind of see what that opposite belief is as well, because it can kind of help potentially to create contrasting characters, or also to imagine how the character could have grown as well, or changed when they've realised their belief is a lie. And let me catch up with chat before we add in the new extra ones that I haven't added yet. Baby Shark, yo, this is cool. Thank you very much. Well, it's lovely to have you here. Feel free to have a nosy and join in. We are making an RPG in this channel. I'm the solo developer, and the community help get involved and help shape it with me. It's been super fun. And hi David, how are you doing? The beliefs were fun to work on. Yeah, they are, David. We're still at it. We're still doing them. Can you believe it? It's been 2 hours of a stream and we're still on the beliefs, because I was like so certain that we were going to be on to the fears and the others today. We're still on the beliefs. We haven't even looked at the desires since last stream. We're just really expanding on the list. I mean, we've got nearly 300 now, and we started this stream with less than 200. Well, might have just, I can't remember the number, but we've got way more now. So we are coming up with a mega list, and it's all very organised now. I'm categorising it all. We've got a section where there's self-related beliefs, so anything that starts with I am, I should, like their belief is very focused on them as a person. And we've also got people-driven beliefs, where people think certain things of others. And then we've got the category which is society and life. So anything that's related to society as a whole, or the world, or things within the world and life goes here. So, and I'm also trying to keep that organised. So putting all the government ones together, and war ones together, God's ones together, money ones together. Pardon me, I've got the burps. And food ones together. The world ones are all here. Now the last ones are life, because you can't get bigger than life, can you? So yeah, it's all very organised now, way more organised than it was last stream. Last stream it was a big pile of mess. It was all just any random thing on the list. So it's taken a little bit longer to get them in today than it did last stream. I've got a big backlog to catch up with, and it's taking longer because I have to like figure out where it's got to go. And I'm also writing an opposite as well with the beliefs, like for every single one, the one below it's the opposite. So we've got I am not worthy of anybody's love, and then we've got the complete opposite, I am worthy of everybody's love, someone who's a narcissist. So it can be funny to see what we end up with as an opposite. I believe in an eye for an eye. Oh yeah, I think we did have an eye for eye thing actually, funnily enough. But I'll read yours and see how it's worded, and see if we can potentially add to the eye for an eye one with that one. But what was it there? Conflict is resolved with an eye for an eye. There it is. And then we've got conflict is resolved by walking away. So yeah, we're getting a really full list here, and I've done the same thing for the desires, everyone. I've got self-related desires. There's loads. We've got ones related to others, like meeting friends, getting revenge on someone, anything that's related to another person. And then we've got the society desires as well. So the desire, as you know, it's pretty clear by this point, the desire is very linked to the belief. the desire is driven by the belief. So somebody who has the belief of I will never find love will likely have the desire I want to find true love. That usually come hand in hand. And then these others could come from it as well. It's going to be a mega list of what's going to help really bring some NPCs ideas to life much quicker than it would have before, because it can be a challenge to come up with even just a starting point for a character sometimes. So this is what we're always going to use to help get that start of that NPC in mind. And because episode 1 is called Roots and Rumours and it has certain themes, we'll probably look for particular words. We might search, for example, war or family or anything that's very on theme for episode 1 to develop our episode 1 NPCs. And different episodes will have different topics and themes and things for us to look at and focus on. Ready to do fears if you want. We've still got a ton of beliefs to get in, so I'm going to catch up with beliefs first and then we'll jump into the desires and then the fears. So it's going to take a bit of time to get this massive mega list organised, but if you've got any in mind, feel free to list them somewhere, or and then when the time comes we can get to it. So let's scroll back in chat. We can get them in. Feel free to throw them in. I've already started getting them in anyway, as you can see. I don't know if I want that in front. I might remove that and just have it as I am people again. It's so much easier to read when it's got a proper word in front. So let's scroll up. I've been rambling. You can't stop me rambling, chat. It's going to always happen. Okay, so where were we? We got to the corruption in the government part. But so you know, everybody, I am streaming again Friday, New Year's Day, and we'll be carrying on with this and getting through all these sheets. We'll be hopefully get well into fears and the others on Friday stream. But I don't regret exploring the beliefs again more thoroughly, because we've had some really interesting ones this stream, so it could lead to some interesting things. Okay, where's the government one? Just want to make sure I've added that one. Yeah, there we are. The government has so much corruption. I believe that I should always keep my true intent. So I'll catch up, just so you know, chat, if you're just speaking right now. I'll get to what you say eventually. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just scrolling back in chat so I can get the new ones in. I believe that I should always keep my true intentions under lock and key. I'm alone and I'm the only one who knows my secrets. Okay. So the I section. I should always keep my true intentions under lock and key. Okay. Oops. I alone am the only one who knows my secrets. Cool. So the opposite of that one would be I should always be honest about my true intentions. We can expand on that if we want, but I'll keep that just brief for now and vague. Sometimes keeping it vague allows for some interesting character development, so it doesn't hurt. And I believe that the gods walk among us, but we are just too blind to see them. Good one. So the opposite for that would be the gods don't exist and never did. I mean, that's kind of similar to that one up above. I mean, if you think of a good opposite for that that's even better than the one I've got, feel free to say, and I'll get that put in, folks, because my opposite could suck. So I'm trying to think of it quickly. I believe that secrets are meant to be uncovered and revealed to all. Okay, and I believe that monsters are among us. Oh, okay, so let's get all these in. Secrets, interesting. I think that could definitely probably go under this section with themes. Secrets are meant to be uncovered, revealed to all. So I kind of like that we're getting a section that's very theme focused with words like this, because we could expand on that with way more, and then we could really have like a whole episode that focuses on one of these things potentially, or a whole side quest or series of side quests even. Secrets are meant to be kept secret, to remain secrets forever. I think we had a similar wording with the lock and key thing going on, but it's cool. You know, I don't care if we have it slightly repeated ones, because certain things are worded differently. Like some are more like worded so it's a people like worded one. So it all depends on the wording sometimes. I believe that monsters are among us. Okay, so that could probably go. That could might go here under the gods. Monsters are just fairy tales. And only in children's stories. That's probably a good opposite for that. I believe that the only way to succeed is by hard work alone. Maybe, oops, maybe that one could go here. Success is only happens from hard work alone. And success is pure luck. Okay. I believe in luck, yeah. So that luck one is good, a good opposite for that one, yeah. I believe nothing could love, just listen to the rhythm of my heart. Is that a song lyric, Define Dreams? I know that the first part is, I believe that the stars aren't people at all. We don't have an afterlife. When we die, we cease to exist. Oh, okay, so let's get those in. Silence, a good. Oh yeah, it's a good one for sure. How far are we from catching up? Let's look. I'm gonna just scroll down to the bottom and catch up with chat, because I don't want to keep you all waiting, and I'll just scroll back up in a sec. Is there a particular target for the number of beliefs we want? No, Met. What I'm kind of like, we won't have any limit, because who knows? People might come up with some really good ones, and part of me is glad that we carried on today with this, because if we just settled for the amount that we had last stream, we would have missed out on some really potentially good potential things. So, you know, bit of time. It doesn't hurt. So, I mean, obviously there's a stopping point eventually. We can't be here forever making this list, but I feel like we'll eventually dry up, and when we dry up, we can move on. And I probably, you know, I won't like discourage people to give more beliefs next time either, even if we're working on the fears and the others. I'll say, if anyone has a belief, don't not say it. But I think we'll feel like we got enough when the time comes, but this will be something we could always add to forever if we want, like even a year down the line, even when episode 1's finished and we start episode 2 NPCs, you know, and we realise what episode 2's theme's going to be about, we might decide to add some extra ones then. So it's going to be something we always like look at and add to. You're so cool, Ramble is actually the content, Rose. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that I ramble means that I'm going to get more of a massive list to add, but I'm not even bothered. I'm just glad that I've got loads to add. Like I said, I'd much rather prefer to have 50 to add from chat than 0. So nothing's worse than a blank page. Okay, so, and David says, is there a depressing reason why these are separate lists? The difference between a belief and a fear is the owner's reaction to them, right? Well, I guess it's because they're all separate things. They are very all connected, and they're all influenced by each other. So I can definitely get why you might think they're all the same, or they're all very so closely related to each other, but with a slight rewording. But really, they are separate things, and it's kind of, I did make a list, let me find it. So really there's a few differences, like with the beliefs. The beliefs at heart are the message of the story or the mini story. Because you take a belief and it's telling you something like a moral lesson, and it's the theme and you know why the story exists in the first place and why we're telling this story, because it's usually a flawed outlook that we're realizing is flawed, and we kind of see another point of view to that belief. So that's kind of really what the belief is, but the belief drives the desire as well. So really, to have a desire, you've also got to have a belief, because where would the desire come from if you didn't have that belief in the first place? But really, the belief all comes from this. The reason why you're dissatisfied in your life can come from the belief as well as your backstory and history, which is another thing altogether. That's a little bit more detailed, the backstories, which is why we haven't got a section for that, because we could write a complete paragraph for that when we've actually given this to the NPCs. And then the desire is the fear is the opposite of the desire. And really, these are what create the internal conflict or external conflict, where I tend to prefer the internal conflict. It's more interesting and more character driven. Really, the desire is the story and the story's goal, the character's goal. You can't have a story without a desire, but the fear is what's stopping them pursuing that desire. And so then the agenda can come in. It's the obstacle, really, the fear is from the desire. Like Carol's, for example, her desire could be to find her family. But her fear is, but I'm a barrel and I can't fight, so I might get hurt by a racist human a lot in that journey, in that quest to find my family. I'm vulnerable. I can't find my family because of that. And then the agenda comes in, which is why she's been seeking the hero. She has purposely pursued the hero to be their inventory because she realises that they can protect her. So really, that's the first one. That is actually Carol's. I want you to protect me. Because she probably thinks, well, I can get a little bit further with someone like who actually can fight in my quest to find my family than I would if I was on my own. I'm more at risk. So do you know what I mean? They're all kind of linked, and they're not entirely the same, but they're all influenced by each other and driven by each other to kind of form that base character arc. And then we can expand on it by going into more detail on each of the sentences and writing backstory. So with Carol, we've kind of already got hers. But for characters like Nigel and Fiona and Violet and maybe a couple of others, this is really why I did it, so we can easily come up with their character without being blank and being like, oh, what do we do? So it's good for all the future ones. I see all the fears coming in now, folks. So we'll probably because I can see we've got some fears coming. We'll probably be moving on to them. What I'm going to do, I'll literally just go in whatever section is being suggested. So if I see chat talking about fears, I'll go in there. I'll flip to and from them. And because it's more organised now, it's all there. Okay, so let's go up then. But yeah, once we feel like we've got plenty in each section, that'll be when we can do this. So I'm going to just do a quick pause, folks. But no worries, don't feel you have to stop giving me ideas. If stream ends up ending and I haven't caught up, I'll literally just look at the VOD and add them off stream. So there's no worries there. But for example, we could I don't know if we need that in particular, but say Fiona, we'll just get Fiona up. This will be a template. And we might actually, before we end stream, we could even assign one of these to Fiona. Yeah, let's word it as we already have in the thing, and it's more personal. But this isn't made up by me, everybody. This is a tried and tested thing. If you Google it yourself, like particularly misbeliefs and lies that characters believe, you'll find a lot of there's books written on the subject and everything, and it's kind of a very approved way of creating really effective character arcs. So feel free to Google it yourself if you could, because there's loads of there's one particular book that I haven't actually read myself, but I have sort of seen snippets from the books and YouTube videos about it, so I kind of get the gist of how it works. I can't remember the author name though, but I can find it out. So we'll do this in a bit, guys. We'll finish getting the listing, and we can always look through and think what fits Fiona and see what we come up with, because she's not very developed yet. We kind of have a very basic personality for her, that she's a spunky young child with a lot of courage, and she's adventurous. We know those things about her, but we know nothing about her internally and what's going on inside her. So it's going to be fun to uncover that about her and her brother and some of the other characters that we've got. So it'll just flesh her out a lot more. So awesome. I love that you guys are coming up with some. I'm very, very sure I'm not going to get them all in by the end of the stream, that's for sure, but it's going to be something I can do. I can easily get them in off the stream. I spent a good few hours organising this yesterday evening, just getting everything in the right sections. Because if you look at last stream's VOD, everything was very disorganised. So yeah, feel free to just throw any in. Any that are interesting that you don't mind me taking and adding to this mega list, feel free to just say in chat right now. And as you can see, these are the examples for the fears that we've got so far. Something, you know, fears are very straightforward. Something the character's scared of, something that actually would send shivers up your spine and stops you from getting on with anything. Something that's a real obstacle to your want, which is the desire. The desire is a want and a goal, really. Desire is just another way of wording it, the character want and the character goal. But I like that the desires that we do have are very internal. They're not external things like, my desire is to walk to the shop. I mean, that's, you know, a lot of them are very like internal ones. And Carol's is external. I want to find my family, but it's also internal in some ways too, because it brings up the fact that she doesn't feel like she's got a place to belong without a family. So something external can be turned into something that's a bit more internal. And the dissatisfied one, reasons why you'd be depressed, basically. Why you're miserable. And usually the character starts off that way, right? Because no one's truly satisfied, because there won't be a story otherwise. If the character is satisfied, then what's the point? You know, there's got to be a story to tell. But this is really the one that starts everything off. I could have really put this one first, in all honesty. In fact, I'm tempted to move it first, because really being dissatisfied is what makes you form a belief. For example, being dissatisfied because you're noticing that the world is a terrible place, you see all these horrible things happening, is what would form the belief of, let's go down and have a look what we've got. Could be many of these, to be honest. There's a lot of negative worldview ones here, but is that one or any of the world-based ones? The world is a terrible place because it's just total random chaos, nothing we can do can make a difference. Or the world is a terrible place because it's conspiring against me. Or the world is a terrible place because it's changing and it's going to hurt the ones I love. Or it could be a terrible place because of war, or one of the war-related ones, or the government. The war is a terrible place because the government has so much corruption. So you get what I mean. Usually, to have a belief, you've got to be dissatisfied with something to have that belief. Something's got to have formed that belief. And there's usually a backstory there as well. So we can potentially go really deep into this once we've got our sentence. But then these all just are influenced by each other. So yeah, beliefs are influenced by that, the desire is influenced by that, the fear is the obstacle to the desire, and the agenda is the solution to the fear, because the hero can do the job. You know, the agenda thing's a fun one, because that's what's going to give us quest ideas and reasons for NPCs want to talk to you as the hero, because they want you to do a job for them. And it's usually the reason they want you to do this job is probably because they can't do it themselves for whatever reason, because of their fear. So, you know, okay, so I'm going to get some more in our list. I kind of stopped because I know I'm going to be putting most of them in off stream, looking through the VODs. So I'm not like in a rush or anything. My agenda is being independent and people respecting me and doing my business. Yeah, so feel free to just say, and it's obviously easier if you do it like you've been doing, chat, and put what it is in front, whether it's fear or a desire or an agenda or a dissatisfaction, and then I can put it in its right place, and then by New Year I'll have added all of everything here into this. I'm going to share it with you all, and in fact we can do the sharing thing now, and then anyone who is curious can refresh it between now and next stream to see what's been added, because I will be adding between now and next stream all of the ones that you've come up with in chat, folks, plus any that I come up with myself, because I've got a few in mind as well that I haven't even got time to add because there's been so many. So yes, I'd say on Friday's stream, I know some of you might be having a lie-in, but you never know, some of you might get up and you can hang out with me on the first stream of 2021. Yeah, we'll work on getting it like nicely, a nice amount in on Friday, so that we can stop doing it and finally move on to assigning one to each of the characters, and then we can continue carrying on with making the dialogue, making sure we've not missed anything in the dialogue. Like, for example, once we've done Fiona and Nigel and Violet and any others that are in the story already, we might want to look over the dialogue and see if, make sure, double check once again that everything they're saying does match internally with what's going on within them. And it'll just strengthen what we've already done. And I can't see us being on the dialogue for much longer now, though, because it's really just tidying up work and polishing and making sure it's all good at this point. And we still have to finish scene 5 as well. We've already done the outline for that. We spent the Christmas stream writing the outline for scene 5, so that's on the way to being done too. So I'd say by the first week of Jan we'll have finalised the dialogue, and we'll be moving on to getting those scenes put into RPG Maker finally, and that'll be good too. You guys are so good. Look at all these ideas. I mean, there's no way I'd get them all in by the end of the stream now, but yeah, I feel like I just want to tell you all that if you've got any really cool ideas brewing in your mind, whether it's linked to episode 1 themes or not, just feel free to drop in me, because, like, you know, if there's something there that you think's cool that you don't mind being in Raindrop Chronicles, then it's got more chance of ending up a plot or a character arc in the story if it's been put in, because if not, then it'll never be. You'll just be forgotten forever. So I encourage you to share so that it can get added to the list, and you never know who's going to have it you never know what NPC will end up having it. Because one thing I do want to do, I do want to start considering NPCs in episode 1 early in the new year. I know that we're not going to implement them directly into the RPG Maker engine or the game until after the first playable build's out, because the first playable build's not going to have the NPCs in it. It's only going to have main quest 1 and 2. But for the next playable build that comes after that, I do want to start populating Lakefall and making it more lively and have NPCs that you can talk to. So I would like to at some point think about that, so that we've got the ideas there ready before we need to implement them, and we can potentially look through this list to see which ones in particular interest us for Lakefall villagers. And it's probably going to make more sense to not have a sort of look in mind, or a gender or personality in mind. It's probably a cool idea to actually just go through this list and see who we end up with, and then form the personality and the character's appearance and name and all that on after that. Awesome, folks. So let me look through and see. I can't even remember where I left off now, everybody. So I'm gonna probably finish getting all these in off stream. Maybe we'll say. I might get in the mood to add a few soon, so we'll see what mood I'm in. But we'll get this shared actually now. I think now's a good time to get it in the Discord to share it with you all, and you can have a proper look through then, because I know on stream you can only see a bit at a time. And you never know, some of these could help inspire you, like if anyone's doing a D&D, if anyone's got a D&D character or anything at all, you feel free to get inspired by Alice, folks. It's not stealing at this stage, because these are just very base sentences, When we start building the characters, we're going to expand more fully on what we've got here. But these are very good starting points. Okay, so share. Let me just... I'm hiding the screen because just in case private names or emails come up. So 1 minute. So only people added can open with this link. Change to anyone with link. So anyone with this link can view. That's the one we want. Yeah, and viewer. So this will be a read only sheet. I think we've got it now. So ideas discussion. Oh yeah, I was half asleep when I saw this get posted, so I'm going to have a read of that later, Matt, to see what that's all about. Hi everyone, this is the mega list we've been working on this week. Feel free to have a nosy, get inspired, and drop. Feel free to have a nosy, get inspired, and drop any other sentences you think, well, not sentences, other beliefs, fears, desires, fears, etc., that you think of. I'll regularly can't speak. Hi Timmy as well, how you doing? I couldn't remember if I said hi. I saw you pop in and I forgot whether I said hi, but I hope you had a good Christmas. You're doing well. That you think of. I'll regularly be updating this list with, so that we have plenty to choose from for our NPCs in the future. Over the course of the development. So there we go. So it's in there, anyone who, because I know some of you were keen to have a look, so let me know if it works and it lets you read and that it doesn't let you edit or anything like that. So of course you have to be in the Discord to view it, and anyone who isn't, feel free to join, because you're missing out if you're not part of our cool Discord. We've got lots of cool channels and things. So yeah, that's a list of old-timey jobs. Oh, cool. Oh gosh, yeah, I've got a livelihood section on the character submission form on the website, so I might actually, if there's any good jobs on that list, I'll add them to the livelihood drop down menu on the character form. I was thinking of even adding more desires as well to the character form, because one of the questions is, what is your character's goal? I think it's goal, and goal is basically desire, so some more of these could totally get added as well. But I wouldn't add all these to the character forms for people, because in case some of them aren't linked really with each other. So really the desires are really important one, but then the others we can like manually assign ourselves to whatever we think works really well with that character. I'm good, thanks. To Sleepy, how about you? I'm doing decently. Timmy, I'm just chilling and having a decent end of 2020 as that I can. And I'll be having a low-key New Year as well. Not going out or anything like that. I'm a hermit. Normally I might, but because of everything, nope. Okay, so yes, it's in the Discord. Feel free to let me know if it works. Okay, so I can even now, because we've still got some time before the end of stream, so I can even now start adding the things that you folks have suggested in chat, or we can start forming Nigel and Fiona just to see how it could go. Just an example of where a character, what could be dug up under the surface with characters that we haven't realised. So I did see one that I marked as Fiona here. We'll start with Fiona, but don't worry, feel free to still drop them in chat, everybody. They won't be ignored, because they will be added off stream. Any that don't get added, I'll be looking through that VOD. So fake hermit, if you ask me, went outside once. Yeah, Chubb's never been outside since he was born. Since the day he was born, he's been in the house for the last 20 something years, or however old you are. I'm working on New Year's Eve. Are you, Dave? Are you excited, or are you, does that idea, is it dissatisfying? If it was David, we'd have working. I'm dissatisfied because I'm working on New Year's Eve. Well, you know, it wouldn't be as specific as that. I'm ambivalent. Oh yeah, so it's not that dissatisfying then. To some it could be. Well, I moved house once, but I stayed in a box for the travel, so I can still claim never going outside. Were you? You was in a box? Was the box called Woody? Imagine if it was. Your dreams would have come true, Chubb, if that box was Woody. It's not like I generally have a rage or a party anyway. And so what ones are we working on now? We'll chat like you, Van, Dave, Kung and Met, and maybe some other folks might have given some really good ones. I can see a massive list in chat that I haven't yet put in. So what I'm going to do is get those put in off stream between now and Friday stream. I'm going to get all of those that I haven't yet added will be added between now and Friday's stream, as well as any that I've got as well, because I've got a notepad file of a few ideas and I haven't even been able to put in one because chat have given me so many, which is great. But all of those are going to get added between now and Friday. So, you know, don't feel you just have to give beliefs and desires, give fears, agendas and being dissatisfied reasons too. But just so you know, everyone, Van, because Van asked what we've been doing, ideas discussion. We've got the mega list here in the ideas discussion now. So if you click that, it should lead you to this. And I've put this one first now because I feel like that's the really makes more sense as the first one. Agenda makes most sense as last, because that's like when that's your motivation, your solution, should I say, to getting things sorted. So agenda should be something really. How would we explain an agenda in case anyone's not sure? It's like something you want someone to do for you, right? So you is the hero, so I want you to protect me. That's Carol. So I could even put here Carol. So she wants you, us, the hero, to protect her. That was her agenda. We successfully did that in Main Quest 1 Scene 3. We had like a long scene where she persuades the hero to do that for her. But, you know, the reason why she wants protecting is all because of these 4 things, right? Because otherwise there's no reason for why. It's like, why would she want the hero to, or you to protect her? There's always a reason. And it is because she's dissatisfied with her life, because she's on her own and she doesn't feel like she belongs in this world among all these flesh bags, and she just feels unsafe. You know, like there's a lot of reasons she could be dissatisfied, and she wants to reunite with a family, which is a desire. Like she can't have that desire of wanting to reunite with a family without being dissatisfied. So the desire and that links as well, and the belief comes in as well, because the belief is like your messed up worldview, really, that is driving your desire, and that's the character arc that you're going to find out along the way and grow as a person. And then the fear is the obstacle. So her obstacle is that she can't do it alone because she's a barrel. There's a lot of reasons to be afraid when you're a barrel, even though Carol's too proud to admit it. So that's ultimately why she wants hero to protect us. Carol's probably the most complete character so far. We've probably got an answer for most of these for Carol. So we could fill in Carol's now, considering we've done her, but I was going to look at Fiona as an example. But we could fill in Carol's. Actually, we'll start with Carol, considering she's the main character, so we'll get her in first. And we'll fill in hers, considering we'll already have a good idea. But I'm going to use this Google Doc to list the NPCs that we've got so far in the game, so we can kind of get an idea what each of those are. Okay, and being inside Woody is a dream indeed. And Woody loves Christmas, you know, but he can't stand going out the next day. Yeah, I wonder what Christmas would be in the world of Raindrop Chronicles, folks. Any like fitting ideas there, because I'd love to think about festivals more. What I really want to have more in 2021 is more world building streams where we chat about anything that's really going to just flesh out the world and make it feel like not an empty wasteland of a place with no rules or culture, or it'd be really nice to have more world building streams and make some world anvil articles, have more polls where we set the world in stone together. Because I think a lot of you know at this point, I don't like doing the actual game development on the stream too much, because a lot of the time I like to have that focus for the actual game development side of things, because it can be very complex and a lot of testing to do, and sometimes we add those kind of streams because it's just what works at the time. So sometimes I might open up RPG Maker and do that kind of thing on stream, but I find that I'm not the most effective on stream doing that. I'm much better doing that kind of thing off stream. So what I do like doing on stream most of all are things like world building, writing, character discussion, and even just general rambles and chatting about things. Anything that's gonna really give good ideas for the game. And I think there would be a lot of generosity, or at least a semblance of it. Yeah, I feel like gift giving really sums up Christmas. So whatever it's like in this world, Raindrop Chronicles, it would involve giving gifts to each other, I think, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the same. Santa doesn't have to exist. There doesn't have to be Christmas trees. We don't have to have it be ingrained in planet Earth's culture or religions or anything like that. We can create our own Christmas. How fun would that be? So yeah, if anyone's got any ideas, throw them in chat, even though we're not really discussing all that at the moment. But if we do have a stream on that in next year, early on or whenever, I can have something to start off with, like something to go on the blank page. So I've just realised that Chubb's character isn't really kidnapping the barrels for the barrels themselves. The real motivation is for Chubb to have the time alone with Woody. Oh my, yeah. So well, we've already kind of realised with Woody, we actually put Woody in brackets here, didn't we? Can't find it because we've got so many on the list. I'd have to use the search tool. But I think we put for Woody that he doesn't feel like he'll ever find love. So I feel like Woody, he's a bit of a flirt. He definitely chats up everybody he meets, no matter who they are. And anyone that gives him a bit of positive attention, he will probably respond to it, Even if it's a villain, he'd probably respond positively, because Woody just wants to be loved, so you never know. He could get himself involved with someone he shouldn't. Okay, everybody, so where were we with Carol? So we'll move this one to the top. Because I personally feel like that one made more sense being first. We'll make the text a touch smaller. And I will actually bold it as well, because we can do the next bit unbolded then. Okay, so we already know that Carol's agenda, because it's right there. I want you to protect me. So you is the hero, basically. But I figured having you there instead of the hero is just a little bit tidier than just having the hero in every single row. So, okay, so now the desire is pretty obvious. I mean, this is something that's even written on the Law Bible, to find my family. And as for some of these things like the beliefs, the desire, they don't have to rigidly just have one. Usually they'll have an overarching one, but there could be lots of mini desires or mini beliefs as well that are connected to that main overarching one. It's probably better that they do connect, so that the character's just not completely random, and then we have the same theme for the character. Which one should we fill in next? The belief. So we like I said, with Carol, she's the one that I've already sort of knew the answers to, but Fiona and some of the others we don't, so we'll have to look through the list with them. So if anyone has any thoughts, like expansions on what we're currently filling in for Carol, feel free to say. So I can only find love, belonging, acceptance. I mean, I'm going on a bit with this. Connection. And trust with my own kind. So I really just, because we know that Carol calls humans flashbacks, and she's not very nice to the hero or other humans. And then we kind of, as we started thinking, well, why does Carol not like humans? Because we want it to be more than just an angry Sunday, or we want her to have some depth. We don't want her to just be mean for the fun of it, because originally at the start of all this game, when we first created Carol, that's all she was. We just had her for laughs. We just had her there as a character that was mean for the funsies, because it was funny and amusing to see a living barrel be like that. But then we started to want to give an actual reason for why she behaves like that and why she dislikes humans. And we formed this very tragic backstory thanks to Kung and Zava in particular, with a bit of ideas from others in between, where Carol's parents got tragically smashed and destroyed from a bunch of kids playing a festival in Lakefall, and the kids themselves are just completely ignorant, right? They're completely ignorant that those barrels were even alive. They were just having fun. Those children, to them, they're just kids being kids, playing. Barrels are okay to play with, so they're not villains. The kids aren't. They'd probably be mortified if they knew what they really did, right? I think that's kind of the thing here. But to Carol, she was watching this happen before her eyes. She's standing there at the mayor's podium, and she watches her parents get smashed by these kids. So it's probably one of many events, but that is a major one that has made her despise humans. And because it's not just the kids either, that all the parents and all the adults around them were probably laughing and smiling as the barrels got smashed, because to them they're just thinking, oh, look at all the children having so much fun. This is nice, this is wholesome. So they were all just celebrating, but to Carol it's a nightmare, and she thinks they're all horrible because they were laughing and a family are so yes, that's one reason why she has this hatred for humans, flashbacks. But we could go even further. There could be multiple events along the way in the past that hasn't helped either with this hatred, that hasn't helped whatsoever. The fact that things are coming to life in the forest as well, and the humans of Lightfall are really scared of that, and they're just smashing barrels and objects and anything left, right and centre out of fear of it coming to life, is also in Carol's mind proving that humans are horrible and will never accept them, because the fear is very, very clear to Carol. But not every person living in Lakefall would probably believe that. Like we say, there's going to be lots of different groups with different thoughts and opinions, right? So there could be one group, maybe an elderly group of people, or more sort of with traditional beliefs that are the ones that are more likely to be the ones that smash the objects or destroy them because they're set in their ways and they don't want to embrace the change and they don't want to risk it. And maybe that some of the younger ones, I don't know, could be more willing to embrace the changes. It all depends when we start forming the NPCs and their different attitudes. Carol might realise that some humans are okay. I'm super curious on which of the fears, desires, agendas you will choose. I know, right, it's going to be fun. But this isn't just about what I think would be good for the characters. We should all look together and see what draws us because we're going to do this every time we have an NPC. You know, every time an NPC is ready to join the story. And ready to be developed further, we can assign this to each of them. So we're doing Carol first because she's been the most developed so far. So Carol's fear, where did we get up to? Now, how did we word fears? So I think it'd be a self-motivated fear with Carol, for sure. To have that agenda to want to be protected, because really, we could easily have a fear that's motivated by the loss of a family and that she fears her family would die, and that would be fine. But I think we need to push it more for the reason why she wants to be protected in the first place. So I fear I will be unable to defend myself from cruel flesh bags. And they will put my life in danger. Something like that. Now, Carol has a lot of pride. I've added flashbacks to the dictionary now. Carol's got an awful lot of pride. So when it comes to things like fears, depending on characters' personalities, some will never, ever in a million years show vulnerability and admit these fears. Especially someone with an ego and pride like Carol. Like, she would never in a million years say to the hero, I'm scared that flashbacks are going to kill me. God, no. This is why in scene 3 of Main Quest 1 there was a lot of dialogue there, a lot of bossiness and a lot of manipulating on Carol's part that eventually got the hero to become her inventory, because instead of saying straight out, please defend me, hero, I need you because I'm incapable of doing this myself. Like, Carol would never say that. So we approached it differently with Carol. We approached the agenda in a different way. But other characters could straight out say, somebody like Nigel, for example, there could be no issue at all with showing that vulnerability, because he seems like more the type of person that would. It all depends on the character's personality. Those that are more secretive and prideful will keep those fears very, very personal to themselves. This is all the stuff that's going on internally within them that isn't necessarily revealed, but it still needs to be consistently revealed in the scenes and their dialogue. It can't really contradict what's going on internally with them, because then they're not going to be as believable or real. So I'm glad we're doing this now. I think the timing's really ideal for doing this, because we're in the middle, aren't we, of concluding our main quest 1 and 2 dialogue, so we want to make sure that Carol, which I'm pretty confident we have with her, but Fiona, Nigel and Violet in particular are very consistent, and that was what we was in the middle of doing with those characters. So giving them, filling in these sentences for them, we could really start to understand them a bit better once we've done that, because I have to admit I don't understand Fiona or Nigel or even Violet. There's still a lot of contradictions there, so we need to understand the characters to properly write them. We can't just have an idea of them. We can't just think, oh, Fiona's spunky and a tomboy. There's far more to her than just that. Okay, so did we fill it all in? No, we didn't. I'm dissatisfied with my life because now what have we got? What did we add to that? Yeah, the dissatisfied thing could be honestly numerous things. Like, I could even say Carol's all of those. But sometimes it can be things specifically. So I'm trying to really get to the heart of why she's dissatisfied. So, I mean, chat, if you have any ideas of why you think Carol's really dissatisfied, feel free to say, because I think that one's really open right now, and it probably doesn't help that we haven't filled it in fully. We might get some more ideas for which one truly is Carol once we've filled that one in. But really, the being dissatisfied is really influenced by the belief and the desire. So having whatever it is be the reason for why she wants to find her family, it has to, like, why would she want to find the family if she's already satisfied, if you know what I mean? So it really has to sort of link ultimately to that. Most of all, I think humans have more advantages than barrels. Yeah? What, you think that, or you think Carol thinks that? But yeah, Carol, even though she never admitted in a million years, I think she'd believe that humans are stronger than barrels and are a good ally deep down, because they have arms and legs for a start. They can fight. They are more resilient than barrels. They can't just be killed by an axe in one blow. Sometimes they could if it was hard enough and they bled enough, but there's more chance of them pulling through than a barrel would. And I think Carol thinks that, yeah. And it's quite shocking, isn't it, to realise that that's what she thinks, considering she hates humans so much. But it's all that internal stuff that's going on in her mind that will eventually be uncovered. And the moment she admits it and is like, yeah, humans are really capable and they can do a lot of good things, it'll be like really weird, because it's like, but you hate flashbacks. And we used to hating them. Because she doesn't really have a wider community that her family gets along with. Yeah. And that's a good point as well, because she's very narrow-minded, Carol is, because she's literally just existed with her own kind. And she hasn't been willing to explore the possibilities that barrels and humans and all the other races can coexist together. She would never even believe that is a thing, and she would never fathom it. I can't say it right. So this belief, the opposite of that would be, I will find love, and I will find all those things: love, belonging, acceptance, connection with all kinds and all kinds of people. That's the opposite of that. And that means that is the truth of Carol's character arc. you know, because really the interesting thing about the belief is if you spin it the opposite way round, it's kind of what they could possibly become themselves through the adventure and the journey. That is like real character growth. So, I mean, I think both of what Van and Met have said are very likely, and I think we'll keep the question mark there a bit longer, but I think what you've said is definitely true. So should we look at Fiona before? And oh my gosh, look at the time. I don't want to go just yet. I don't know if dinner's ready yet. I'm going to try and go on streaming as long as I can until dinner's ready. But we might need to cut it early. But I do want to have a little peek, at least of the 2 we've filled in for Fiona. Not so much the fears, agendas and dissatisfactions, because we've not filled them in yet. But I feel like we could have a quick browse through beliefs and desires and decide which ones are good for Fiona. Even if we have a few for now, we can always shortlist and then narrow it down to the ones that we think are best for Fiona after. Even if that means we do a poll, you know, if we have a handful and we're like, oh, which one should be Fiona's? So when it comes to Fiona, I think we need to think whether they're self-motivated or motivated by other people, or motivated, influenced by society, others, or themselves, like which one matters more to them, and that's a good starting point. With Fiona, I think she's definitely more of someone who's self-focused, because she's independent, right? She's all about her independence from what I've gathered about her so far. So I think we're more likely to find a Fiona belief among the I's. Nigel maybe would be among the people one, because he seems like he cares more about what others think. And I don't know whether either of them are would be wise and intelligent enough to think more about society and life. But there's a few funny ones here. I feel like it's worth looking through them all, even so. But it's sometimes you got to start somewhere, especially when there's a big list. And we've still got the find word search as well, if we want to pick specific themes and words. But yeah, I'm thinking of what's like the word I've got in mind for Fiona right now is adventurous and independent. So I'm looking for adventurous and independent focused beliefs here. I feel like it could be that, but a slightly more humble version of that. That sounds more like it's coming from a younger person. That's probably more of an antagonist or older or person that might think like that, because that's pretty extreme, that one. Nothing can chain me down. Well, something has to chain Fiona down, because she's an innkeeper, so she still has responsibilities. And that's something to consider too. The fact she's got responsibilities, but she wanders off into the forest. That even could work for Fiona. She could kind of feel like she's trapped and things are keeping her here, like her brother and the inn, but she doesn't want to be trapped. So it depends. I feel like we could have potentially a few to choose from here, and we'll have to shortlist and narrow it down. But I'm going to put a cross next to the ones that I think are Fiona. In fact, I'll put F for Fiona, just so we remember who it was for. And if anyone else, I mean, don't forget it's their ideas discussion channel. If anyone else wants to look through and they feel like, oh wow, that's perfect for Fiona, feel free to say, because I can see us having a list, like I say, of a few, and then we'll decide, we'll shortlist. Vagabond, thank you so much for those 100 biddies. Happy holidays, Renga. I appreciate that. I appreciate those biddies, Vagabond. How have you been anyway? How has your holidays been? And how are things going with the game dev? Have you been on a game dev break over the holidays? Tell us everything. How was the holiday pack? How did that all go? Because I remember last time we spoke, you telling us about your holiday pack. I've been great off stream for a nice while back on January 4th. Oh, that's nice, yeah. Treat yourself to that time off so you can be all refreshed when you get back. I had a few days off over the Christmas period myself. Spent some time with family and that, so I'm just getting back into it now. This week was my official return. So holiday pack was amazing, yay! But yeah, I hope you have a great New Year's celebrations. This is our last stream of the year, so definitely awesome to have got through this year. Another year of Raindrop Chronicles. It's our first full year of Raindrop Chronicles, so it's been it's an achievement to say it's been a full year of Raindrop Chronicles streams, because we did start in 2019, but it was very sporadic, it was irregular in 2019, and we only really begun halfway through the year properly. It's been 2020's all been about it. I think Fiona might fear that if she ever falters, she'll be underestimated forever. That does feel very Fiona as well. So if we see any like that, we'll put an F next to it, Matt. But if not, I'll actually add it word for word with what you've said there when I start adding more to the list. I bet if I put Fiona in, it'll screw things up, won't it? Let's see what we can do, because I would like to... Oh, yeah, there we go. Put the full name there, because then it'll make sense to anyone who views the doc as well. But for anyone who's just coming in, feel free to have a look. We're making a big mega list of ideas here for our NPCs, so it's been pretty fun. Hi Mum, how are you doing? And Tina's my mum, everybody. She's in the stream. Okay, so let's look through more. I might have to go soon, because I bet it's time for my dinner very soon, but it's been too much fun to go. I'll be honest. So we're probably not going to finish Fiona, so we'll stop here then, everybody, and we'll carry on Friday. I miss you, hope the holidays were lovely. Thanks for the stream, Rose, and lovely to make your acquaintance, Mother Rose. Yeah, say hi to my mum, everyone. And I think Fiona might fear that she will always be short, then be dissatisfied that people are always looking down on her. That's a good one too. Thanks for the ideas, guys, because, you know, the ones that are perfect for Fiona might not necessarily be here. They can help, inspire some ideas for sure, but we can always add Fiona-specific ones. Rose, Mum. Hi, Screaming Cheese. How you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks so much for the stream today. Super fun indeed. Yeah, it's been a really cool one, and we will be carrying on with this on Friday. We might as well continue the week doing this. And maybe we'll finish it up on Friday, but no worries if not, because like I say, I will always be adding to this mega list. Thanks so much for the stream today. So, hi all, Hot Ed Rex, miss you too. LOL. Shark Taco, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Nigel might fear that he can never find someone he can truly connect with and will always being only capable of one night stands. Yeah, maybe because he's got low self-esteem issues, hasn't he? So I can probably imagine it would be that would suit Nigel, especially because we've made him a romance option. So we will do that. We'll actually make a list for Nigel as well. We'll make a list of appropriate ones for both the two of them, the brother and sister. And if we are stuck and we can't think of a specific one, we can always do a poll, or we could have both. As long as the link, I'm fine with having multiple ones if the theme's similar and there's a link. Okay, hi Shark Taco, how are you doing? Welcome. I hope you're, yeah, I'm gonna have to head off now, folks. I can't believe how fast the stream's gone. But I'm back on Friday if anybody's awake. And we'll be carrying on with this. Thank you to Ecolot for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope I've not butchered your name. But welcome everybody. And yes, if anybody is curious what we're doing and wants to join our Discord to see the list properly and get a read-only view of our list, feel free to join the Discord because the link's in that channel, the ideas discussion channel. We can celebrate the new year then. Yeah, we can indeed. So okay everybody, I'm gonna head off now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to head straight off today, but we'll do a raid next time everybody. So I can't believe it's 6:30 already. But we did start late, we did start stream late. But yeah, so I'm not going to see you all again until it'll already be 2021. So we might as well say Happy New Year now. So yeah, get all those emojis in chat, everybody. Okay, everyone. Take care, guys. I will see you all on Friday. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope 2020 ends okay for you all. And here's to a good 2021. Bye everybody.